What if I told you the real secret to unlocking superhuman bodyweight strength isn't cranking out more push-ups, but following a progression system designed to make you unstoppable? You've probably tried adding reps, maybe even fancy variations, but still hit plateaus. This video will shatter those assumptions and reveal the hidden roadmap to continuous progress. Get ready to defy gravity and master moves you never thought possible, starting today. Let's start with bodyweight foundations. Most people think bodyweight training just means push-ups, sit-ups, and maybe some pull-ups if you've got a bar handy. And yeah, those moves are a good start, but if that's your whole plan, you'll eventually stall. Why? Because you're not building the foundation you need to progress. Think about building a house. You wouldn't start with the fancy upstairs loft before pouring a solid foundation, right? Same thing here. Your foundation is mastering the basic movement patterns. Scapular retraction, pulling your shoulder blades back and down, proper core bracing, and controlling your body through the full range of motion. Without those, you're just piling reps on shaky ground. And let's not forget mobility and flexibility. People roll their eyes at stretching, but if you can't move your joints through a healthy range, you're cutting your own potential short. Try doing a deep pistol squat or a clean handstand without good ankle or shoulder mobility. It's not happening. Mobility isn't optional. It's the hidden key that prevents injuries and lets you access stronger positions. So before worrying about advanced stuff like front levers or one-arm push-ups, nail the fundamentals. Lock in clean form, build mobility, and make sure your body can actually handle progression. That's how you set yourself up for long-term strength, not just quick wins. Having mastered your bodyweight foundations, the next step is the progressive overload playbook. Lots of people go wrong with bodyweight training. They think progression means just doing more reps. Push-ups too easy? Do 50 instead of 20. Pull-ups mastered? Do sets of 15. And sure, you'll get a little stronger, but eventually your body adapts and you hit a wall. More reps isn't always more progress. It's just more endurance. The secret is progressive overload, and it applies to bodyweight training just as much as lifting weights. With weights, you add a few pounds to the bar. With bodyweight, you have to get creative. You can change leverage, tempo, range of motion, and even the angle of the movement to keep challenging your muscles. For example, let's take push-ups. Once standard push-ups feel easy, you don't need to crank out 100 of them. Instead, elevate your feet to shift more load onto your upper chest and shoulders. Slow down the tempo. 3 seconds down, 1 second pause at the bottom, explode back up. Or progress toward archer push-ups, then eventually one-arm push-ups. See how the challenge builds without simply adding reps? Same goes for pull-ups. Once you can do a solid set of 10-12, start adding pauses at the top, slow eccentrics, that's lowering yourself super slowly, or work on harder variations like typewriter pull-ups. Each tweak is a form of overload, forcing your body to adapt in new ways. The beauty of this approach is it keeps training exciting. You're not stuck in rep count purgatory. You're chasing milestones. Your first pistol squat, your first strict muscle up, your first handstand push-up. That's progress you can actually feel and measure. Progressive overload isn't about mindlessly doing more. It's about getting smarter with the tools you already have, your body and gravity. Let's back this all up with scientific facts. So let's cut through the noise. Does bodyweight training really build as much strength and muscle as throwing around dumbbells and barbells? Short answer, yes, but only if you approach it with the same progression mindset. A study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research compared participants doing push-up progressions to those bench pressing with weights. The results? Both groups saw significant increases in upper body strength, provided they trained at similar intensities. In other words, your muscles don't care if the resistance comes from iron plates or your own body. It just cares that you're challenging it. Here's another gem. The European Journal of Applied Physiology highlighted that when advanced calisthenics variations like one-arm push-ups, pistol squats, or handstand push-ups are performed correctly, the mechanical tension rivals traditional weightlifting. The science is pretty clear. If you progressively overload, bodyweight training can match, and sometimes even surpass, traditional resistance work. Weights are easier to scale. If you're benching, you can slap on an extra 5 pounds and keep progressing. With bodyweight, progression often means big leaps, like moving from a regular push-up to a one-arm push-up. That's a massive jump in difficulty, which is why so many people stall. This is where creativity and patience come in. Playing with tempo, partial reps, static holds, or weighted vests bridges the gap. Experts like Al Cavadlo, one of the leading figures in the calisthenics world, often say, you don't need weights to get strong, you need progression. and he's living proof. His philosophy? Master your body before you master external resistance. On the flip side, coaches like Jeff Nippard highlight that weight training is the most direct way to consistently overload the muscles for hypertrophy. Both perspectives are valid, it just depends on your goals. The key takeaway is this: muscle doesn't care about the method, only the stimulus. Progressive overload, enough volume, proper recovery, and good nutrition. That's the holy trinity, whether you're grinding out pull-ups or pressing heavy dumbbells. So the science and the experts agree. Bodyweight strength progression works, but it demands structure, patience, and creativity. If you stick with the basics, keep progressing, and push yourself past comfort, you'll build serious muscle and strength without ever stepping foot in a gym. Alright, let's slow things down and clear up the biggest misconceptions about bodyweight training versus weights. First, the myth that calisthenics is only for beginners. False. Beginners can and should start with basics like push-ups and squats, but advanced progressions, think muscle-ups, planches, front levers, require incredible strength and control. These are not easy by any stretch. Second, the idea that weights are the only way to build real muscle. Not true. Weights make progressive overload straightforward, yes, but bodyweight training, done correctly, creates just as much mechanical tension. It just takes a different kind of creativity. Another misconception? That you have to pick a side. Either you're the calisthenics guy doing handstands in the park or the weightlifter loading plates in the gym. The reality is that both methods can complement each other beautifully. Weights give you scalability and hypertrophy. Calisthenics gives you functional strength, mobility, and insane body control. Together, they make you unstoppable. And finally, let's kill the high reps only myth. Endless push-ups or crunches won't cut it. You need progression, variety, and intensity to move forward, whether you're using gravity or dumbbells. So, bottom line, both calisthenics and weights can build muscle and strength. The method isn't the issue, it's whether you're pushing yourself to adapt. So, after everything we've covered, where does that leave you? Here's the truth, there's no single best path. The best method is the one you can stay consistent with, enjoy, and progress over time. If you love training outdoors, mastering push-ups, pull-ups, and handstands, then calisthenics is your playground. You'll not only build strength and muscle, but also balance, mobility, and control that carry over into everyday life. On the flip side, if you thrive on structure, enjoy measuring your progress in pounds and reps, and want precise control over overload, weight training is your weapon. And if you're like most people, mix the two. Use weights for hypertrophy and targeted growth, then use calisthenics for skill work, core stability, and functional movement. It's not about being team weights or team calisthenics. It's about building the strongest, healthiest version of you. So whether you're cranking out pull-ups at the park or pressing dumbbells in the gym, remember, consistency, progression, recovery, and smart nutrition will always matter more than the method. Tools are just tools. The results depend on how you use them. At the end of the day, your muscles don't know if you're holding a barbell or hanging off a pull-up bar. They just know effort, and effort applied consistently always wins. Before you head out, I want to hear from you. Are you more of a calisthenics athlete, a weight room warrior, or do you blend both? Drop your answer in the comments, I read them all. If this video gave you clarity, hit like, tap subscribe, and keep building with us here on Flex and Shred. And for deeper insight, don't miss my video, Calisthenics versus Weights, which builds more muscle. It's the perfect follow-up to this one.